Tonight, an update on the police officer shot in Gwinnett County over the weekend alongside his partner who died.
Well, Atlanta News First anchor Carly Burnett here in studio with how Master Police Officer David Reed is recovering tonight. Carly?
Tracy, Blair, we know there is a long road of recovery ahead, but we do have at least some positive news to deliver tonight. Officers do say Reed is still in the hospital after having surgery to remove a bullet from his face. Reed and Officer Pradeep Tamang were shot Sunday morning while responding to a fraud call at a Holiday Inn Express in Stone Mountain. A suspect is in custody tonight, facing several charges, including malice murder. Police say officers are feeling mixed emotions about this whole thing.
It goes back and forth between very sad, shocked, and angry. This shouldn't have happened. I know there are officers really struggling with this.
The Gwinnett County Police Foundation is holding a vigil tomorrow night at 7 to remember Officer Tamang and to continue to pray for Officer Reed. That is happening at Cross Point Church in Duluth. The community is invited to attend, to grieve, to pray. The Celebration of Life service for Officer Tamang is scheduled for this Saturday morning at 10. That will be at 12 Stone Church in Lawrenceville. Blair.